So hello everyone, I hope you are doing really good, and today I have two news. Now one is a good news and one is a bad news. So today, as we know, there was a cabinet meeting that was scheduled to take place on February 5th, and today is February 5th. So first of all, I'm gonna tell you the good news. Now we will be waiting for the bad news. So the good news is that Victoria plans for international students return with special quarantine housing. Now this is the good news not only for Victorian students, students who are going to Victorian universities. Victorian universities are like universities in Melbourne or in Victoria like Monash University and then Federation University and all. But this is a good news for every student who is going to, who is planning to go to or who is going to or who has got the student visa to go to Australia and study for the bachelor's or postgraduate or any degree, any level. So the good news is that Victoria plans for international students. Now the thing is that of course there are people over there in Victoria, not only in Victoria but in Australia, they are facing financial crisis. Now why are they facing financial crisis? Because international students are not going there, so student accommodation, student housing, everything is vacant. Now after 2 lakh, almost 2 lakh international students came out of Victoria, now the Victorian student housing and job sector, everything is down now because most of the part-time jobs were taken up by international students and the accommodation was also filled by international students. Most of the student accommodations are now empty and they are giving away rooms for very less amount. Now one of my friend got a room for just $500 private room in city. When I went there, it was really difficult to get a room, private room in city, and that too on Latrobe Street for just $700 or $800, and now the price has come down to 500 Australian dollars. So that is like incredible. So everyone over there, whether it is restaurants, whether it is university, or whether it is cafeteria, or whether it is student housing or accommodation, everyone is facing financial crisis. Why? Because international students have come back to their home countries and they are not able to go back to Australia. The good news is that they are signing petitions. They want international students to come back, and this is the news clipping. Although this is a bit older news, it was like 1 month old, but ever since then there are some petitions and things happening that are good for international students return back to Australia. So the Victorian state government is hoping to bring international students back into the state in 2021, as student advocates say they are happy to pay for quarantine and accommodation in a similar setup to the 1,200 people allowed in for Australian Open. Now as we all know, Victoria recently had this Australian Open. They organized Australian Open and over 1,200 people. Now who all were there in 1,200 people? The tennis players, their staff, their delegates, everyone was involved, and the Victorian government made 3 hotels available for their accommodation. I do not know whether they built 3 hotels. That would sound insane. They vacated 3 hotels for these stars and their staff. So in a similar fashion, international students can also be brought back to Victoria. So this is the debate that is going on between many Australian ministers and student advocates. There is a person called Honeywood. So he's like student advocate or minister or something. So we put to the Victorian government a plan for separate quarantine purpose-built student accommodation, Honeywood told Guardian Australia. Now Guardian is a media house. We wouldn't take up any hotel beds, and the international students and the education providers would pay. The taxpayers won't pay anything. Now this is really important. The university and the students, they both have agreed to pay for their quarantine. So no money would be paid from taxpayers. Now who are taxpayers? Australian citizens who are paying tax. Their taxes won't go in our funding or something of that sort. So you guys should not worry about that thing, alright? Why the sector understands the need for Australian citizens to be given priority, and I'm okay with that. Give Australian citizens priority. Now one of the good news is that in cabinet meeting, the travel cap, previously it was like 400 to 500 Australians were brought back to Victoria every week. Now it has increased to 1200 to 1300. 1,300 Australian citizens getting back to Victoria. So as soon as the travel bubble increases, it will be better for international students. We can see the array of hope. Alright, the frustration in the Northern Territory. Now Northern Territory started bringing back international students. They brought back like 63 students and made them quarantine, and everything went fine. They are now in universities. They are enjoying their lives. So everything is cool over there. The South Australian government had also arranged a program to bring in 300 international students in November, which was put on hold when state had its short-lived second COVID wave. Now you would be asking me, Aman, they are just calling 63 students or 300 students. What about the rest? We are like 1,70,000 international students who came back to our home country. But how can these 300 people, at least it's a start. So the starting is the most difficult part. So if they are going to start with 300 students, then it is going to increase to 600 to 900 and then thousands of students coming per week in Australia or in that particular territory. In 2019, the state had 250,000 international students, but the number halved to 120,000 due to the border closures brought on by the pandemic. Now the thing is that my university, RMIT University, has seen 25% less admission rate this year. And the good news, the best news that I'm gonna tell you guys is that if you have enrolled in any university, or if you have done any sort of like you have got the student visa, or you are planning to come to Australia, or you are in the process or something of that sort. So semester 1 of 2021, 3 universities have agreed to give scholarships, or what we say student discounts, fees discounts. So they are giving fees discounts. So there is like Queensland University, Newcastle University, and there was one more university that I forgot. I will check it and I will write everything in description. I will give the links of these news clippings in the description, so please check. So Queensland University is giving 12.5% fee discount to students who are stuck abroad, who are stuck outside Australia and are willing to come back to Australia, and Newcastle is giving 20% fee discount. So what we are doing is we are mailing RMIT, student union of RMIT, that we also want similar discounts, because we are not availing any facility that RMIT is providing us. It is like distance course that we are doing over here. So we are done with the good news. Now coming to the bad news, guys. So the bad news is that today, 5th of February, a cabinet meeting was held in Australia. They did not even talk about international students. Now I was being optimistic. I was telling my friends over there in Australia as well that let's see where my fate lies, and I hope that everything will be fine. There is a cabinet meeting on 5th of February, and I think that they will be proposing any travel plan to bring back international students, or start the process, at least start the process, man. But that didn't happen. They did not even mention the name of international students. There were journalists, they were asking questions. No one mentioned international students' fate. So I don't know. Now I have lost my optimism, and I do not know what to say. Although there are some good news. The good news number 1 is that many universities have started giving fee discounts. So you can apply for your university as well. Hopefully they will also consider your request and give you fee discount. And the second good news is that many people are signing petitions. Many student advisors, advocates have like contacted government officials, and they are saying that we are like in a sort of financial crisis because international students are not there. So we want money, and we want international students to come back, because there are jobs, part-time jobs, there are student housing, student accommodation, then there are like cafeterias, restaurants where international students used to eat, used to consume food. So everything is being hit. Every industry in Australia is being hit because of lack of international students availing those facilities. So these were the 2 good news. And the bad news is, of course, that in the cabinet meeting they did not even mention international students, let alone thinking about their travel plan. So all they said is that they will increase the travel cap for coming Australians, which was like 500 per week. They will increase it to 1200 to 1300 in Victoria. I'm talking about Victoria right now. All over Australia, they are like Western Australia, Perth has removed its lockdown, has come out of lockdown. South Australia has also come out of lockdown. There were no community transfers, there were no hotel transfers, and no one in the quarantine center in Victoria was tested positive for COVID. So everywhere it is like no COVID cases, no COVID cases, no community transfer, but still they are not making any plan of bringing back international students. So I do not know what to say right now. The only thing that we can do is mail your university and ask them for fee discount. Even if you get 10% fee discount, it is going to be something, man. So that's it from my side, and I will keep you updated. I have given you links in the description, so please check the links. And if you want even more updates, you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is kh.am00, and you can also subscribe to this channel, share this video so that more students can get benefit and more students can file a complaint or this fee discount application. Alright, so you should mail your university for fee discounts, and mail your university that I am willing to come back. What are the latest, because if you are going to pressurize your university is also going to pressurize the government, and things are going to happen. That's all for today, and I hope you do really well. You have a great day.